Shine On Jazz FM 91. Who was on that piece? Who was singing?
Who did we just hear?
Yeah.
We heard Dominic Mancuso singing, and Yvette Toller as well. And we're so lucky because there's so many good singers in the band. Mark Kelso on the drums also sings, and Roberto Occhipinti, my brother, is playing bass, and myself, and Kevin Trickett on trumpet, of course.
So let's talk John Lennon.
It's not a trivia contest, is it?
John Lennon's middle name.
Well, it was Winston, but
Yes.
then became Ono. I guess he changed his name, right? John Ono Lennon.
I was just going to go with Winston.
Okay.
Why John Lennon?
We can stop there, right, with the trivia?
I'm done. That's all. Liverpool, that's the other question. That's the other answer. Why John Lennon?
Why John Lennon? It really wasn't something on the one hand, it wasn't something I thought I was going to ever do, which isn't to say the Beatles weren't a big part of my life. It just wasn't really, something I was thinking about until in 2010, Markham Jazz Festival. I'm the artistic director, and they wanted to do a Christmas concert, and so we were tossing around different dates. And as I was looking at the calendar, I realized that among the dates, a few of them were falling very close to the 30th anniversary of Lennon's death. And that just kind of got me thinking about the fact that the Beatles were a big part of my childhood. And I thought, everybody does a Christmas jazz concert. So maybe we should do something different and maybe celebrate his music. And so it seemed like the right time to do that. And so that's how it evolved. And we did this nice little concert in Markham, and I just called up, musicians that I wanted to work with, and singers like Dominic and Elizabeth Shepard, who's not with us today, and Lila Bialy, and the audience response was really great, and everyone said, "Where's the CD?" And the band really liked doing it and said, "Where's the CD?" So now we have a CD.
Where do you sit on McCartney as a songwriter?
I try not to sit on Paul McCartney, but although if I had the chance. I like Paul McCartney a lot.
You put that one in the band.
I like Paul McCartney a lot. I think that in some ways, some of his tunes would be easier maybe to play around with because, especially later on where Lennon increasingly became about the words, a lot of his melodies really would become, not that many notes. So, on the surface, as a jazz player, people tend to be drawn to tunes with, kind of sweeping melodies, things that you can sort of imagine a trumpet or a saxophone kind of weaving around. And Lennon's are a little more, I think, about what he's saying, and especially in the later years.
It seems that McCartney was, of the two, perhaps McCartney was more influenced by American popular song than Lennon.
Yeah, I think McCartney had that whole, through his dad, I think he had heard all the, he knew the American Songbook, and although I think at the outset, I think he and Lennon both fancied, they kind of wanted to be tunesmiths, right? If you think about those years where they were playing in Hamburg and having to play like 23-hour gigs or whatever it was that they were playing everything they could think of to play, and they knew a lot of stuff. I think the reason they became such great songwriters is that they were really well versed in a lot of different styles of music.
Well, that's part of the premise for Malcolm Gladwell's theory, the 10,000 hour theory.
Right. Yes.
It was that time in Germany that there were human jukeboxes.
Yeah, and that's true. I think everyone in this band has done a variety of gigs over the years, and we all bring that experience to every project. And the reason I like working with everyone that's here with us today and everyone that's on the recording is because they have that depth, and they put in hours, not just playing jazz, but playing pop music and R&B and classical music and just about everything.
Let me play the devil's advocate for a moment. I had and this is based on a phone call that I got today, a conversation I had with a listener who expressed some concern to me about us playing jazz interpretations of pop songs.
Right.
And I think basically he was saying that that's not the intent of jazz. Your thoughts?
My thoughts, it's funny because I already kind of went through this whole discussion when I did the Bruce Cockburn record 12 years ago.
You and I had.
And you know, and I remember at that time people saying, "Are you sure this is a good idea?" And you know, and you know, first of all, I think jazz musicians have always done pop songs. You know, what we think of as the, you know, the standards, you know, those were pop tunes. And you know, when Miles Davis did "Someday My Prince Will Come," that was a tune everybody knew. It wasn't like it was this mystery tune where people were like, "Hey, what tune is that? I don't know what tune that is." Everyone knew the tune. And you know, my experience has been that the audience knowing the tune kind of allows them to go on on a trip with you that they might. It's a little different a journey, I think, when they know the reference and they know what you're they know the starting point anyway. And then if you go off and do something and abstract it, at least they kind of go, okay, well, I know where they started anyway, and they kind of ended up there hopefully. But so you know, I think it's a ridiculous argument actually. I think it's just that at a certain point, you know, jazz musicians wanted to be writers themselves and wanted to play, you know, original music. And so I think at that moment, jazz kind of divided into this: you're either playing original tunes or you're playing the standard songbook. But the standard songbook kind of froze. You know, it's like people ignored the Beatles, they ignored Burt Bacharach, they ignored, you know, Motown. A lot of great music got ignored. But now it's changed. I mean, someone like Brad Mehldau or Dave Douglas, they're playing Radiohead tunes, you know. So, you know, I think it's changed. I think it's an old argument.
You made a fairly bold statement a couple of years ago with the Newfound Occhipinti Orchestra, the band that you have with Paul. And you did the jazz tribute to Dark Side of the Moon.
It wasn't really a tribute so much as a reworking or a reimagining. Yeah.
You say tomato. I say
tomato. Yeah. It's that tribute word, I think, is the.
Yeah. Ever concerned about? Oops, I've gone too far.
Well, I don't know. Maybe if we did a tribute to Tiny Tim or something like that, you know. But I think we're kind of picking pretty good material to play with. You know, I mean, people love these songs. You know, these are albums that have sold millions of copies. So I don't think we have to justify why they're good songs to interpret.
And if you did that Tiny Tim tribute, what would be on it?
Well, I'm just old enough to remember being a kid and seeing Tiptoe Through the Tulips on television. And that's about where it ends for me. But maybe my brother Roberto could help me out. Another Tiny Tim song, I don't know. But
I think Ross actually knew Tiny Tim, that's why he's
I'm there to help his estate. What are you going to do next?
What are we going to do next? I think we're going to do I'm Only Sleeping, and this is going to feature Yvette Toller.
Michael Occhipinti and Shine On Jazz FM 91, broadcasting live from Royal Quay Performance Hall, Toronto, Ontario, Canada.